water what we're going to see is kind of connected to the sea, but it's not. Not exactly, because they built the so-called dikes. The dikes are built around the water, yeah. So this is like a higher ground mounds which separate water from each side. Okay, so the dikes are built all around Holland to control the water. Okay, so there's also around, you see here, there's a lot of canals dug around the areas of the fields, because in the Netherlands it's a high amount of rain as well throughout the year. So the excess water is all in the canals, and so this is how they use also around the cities we will see today. Also in Amsterdam, you will see a lot of people biking, and that's a very common thing in all of the Netherlands. All the people use the bike lanes to get from one place to another. It's a cheap way of transportation. So a lot of locals who can get from A to B with the bike, they would do that instead of cars, because also cars cost a lot these days, because well, the gas prices go up, right? So it's a very traditional thing here in the Netherlands. More and more people actually are using the bicycles, and there is actually more bikes in the Netherlands than people. There's about 22 million bikes altogether in the Netherlands, and each year about 100,000 of them get stolen.
100,000.
Wonder where they go. Yeah, so it's they're actually very fit. Most of the Dutch people, they're very fit because they exercise a lot, right? And not all of them, but most of them. Whoever is biking lives longer and more healthier, because you use your body physical way. Only if you're lazy, you would drive the car. But in the little towns, small towns, normally people would definitely just go with the bikes or small scooters. That's a very fast way to get around, and also easier parking, because you will see later on in Amsterdam there is not much space for cars, because the city built is very old. Most of the streets are very narrow and crammed up with all these little tiny alleyways. Even in the city center you will see, of course, some parts are very open and wide, but in the old town area it's hard to get around with cars, so normally it's only the people with bikes around. So it's very, very important, guys, whenever we get to each place, you always have to watch out for bikes. Okay, so always look left, right before you want to cross something. And just a reminder, yeah, just have a look where the bike lane is, because on the bike lane they have priority, same like with the cars. If you see cars on the street, they have priority unless you have a crossing. If you have a crossing, they will stop. And the same goes for the bikes. If there is a crossing over the bike lane for pedestrians, then you can cross it. But even then, you must look around, because sometimes the locals, they are very annoyed with walkers, and they're just gonna hit you. So for that you have to watch out. Always look both sides, because they're coming in fast and they're quite silent, but sometimes they will be shouting at you to move. But just make sure not to block any of the path for the bikes. You can see also here in the countryside, you see the people going from one village to another. You have connection between all the places, so you can get under there's a tunnel, and then people